Hello and thank you for joining me today. It feels like it's been an absolute age. I was getting in my stride of chatting to you again, sharing my makes, my plans, pattern suggestions, vintage treasures, and then we moved house. You know, it was all a very busy time leading up to it, trying to get everything prepared. At this end, I'm now in the new home. And then obviously the week of moving was just crazy alongside working and everything, but finally almost settled. You know, I'm in my lovely space. This is my bedroom, but it's also my sewing room and my office. So we're on the sewing room and office side of things, and it's really lovely to see that I can film in here. You know, I mean, it's very squished, but I can just about get in here. So I want to share with you some of the recent makes. There have been things that have been slowly dripping along. Some I've shared with you that I'd like to be sewing. So I'm just going to do a catch up on what I've sewn recently, and then we can move forward for some new makes and some new plans. What I'm wearing today, look, I've just slipped my cardigan off so you can see the all-in-one sleeve. It's Wearing History Hawthorn blouse. This must be, yeah, it's the fourth one I've made, and this is in a glorious 1950s fabric. I think a lot of the makes that I've got, actually, bar one, are all from vintage fabrics, and they're ones that I've saved in some sort of way. I've either not had enough or there's been holes in them, so it's also about being sustainable. This one I had less than a metre of, but it's just such a wonderful print. If I come up close, can you see the lovely colours in that? And here are the white buttons, and it's a side zip, this blouse, so that's how you get in it and pull it over your head. But I've used some green for the facings. The collar I made in a couple of parts. Because the fabric didn't stretch particularly on the grain or cross grain, I had to swing it around to cut out some other bits. I had to be really careful. You know, it took lots of pattern planning to work out how to make this blouse. So this feels an absolute win. I really love this. It's a style that makes me really happy with the wing collars, and a great way to use up some scraps of fabric. I did make another one which is in my ironing basket. I think I will show it to you, because that one I only had sort of, I think, about a 50 by 70 centimetre panel of fabric, and then a friend had another little bit of this vintage fabric, and between us, you know, with the two bits of fabric, I managed to make one of these blouses. So it really is a brilliant pattern for not using up much fabric, and if you can only find a small amount of vintage fabric, it's an absolute winner. Plus it looks great on, I think. So anyway, I feel really good in it. Now this is the one that I was talking about in this fabric. It's looking really bright in the screen, but it's more of a red with pinks and purples and yellows. So yeah, we found enough fabric between us to make another blouse. So yay to my friend Kat for rescuing me there. Now another blouse I made, I did talk with you about making this, the pussy bow blouse from a vintage pattern, and I was showing you how to use vintage patterns. It's in one of my previous videos, and this was the pattern that I used, this one here, the pussy bow blouse, and this is the blouse that I made with it in this beautiful fabric. I did show this to you with the mulberry wool that I'm going to make some wide leg trousers from. And I raised the sleeve head, so I've got a bit more of a poof on the sleeve head, and then it's got this really lovely bow and the glass buttons. I think I did actually show you me wearing this. Honestly, it's been so long, but yeah, I'm trying to find some more fabrics. I want to make more of a sort of reddy, sort of wintry coloured one, but this one looked great under jumpers and things, so I definitely want to make more of those. And I do love, you know, with the collar, I don't like this collar shape, I'd change it, but the basis of the blouse I'm really pleased with. So I'm making a lot of blouses and tops at the moment. I'm trying to make more interchangeable outfits that work, not just my frocks, even though I love wearing my dresses. Now this isn't going to translate too well to me showing you like this. I sort of hang it all the way up. I made this lovely skirt. I've got two others. I've got my denim one with my heart pockets, which I shared with my patrons. I show them how to make these skirts and these heart bow pockets. And then I've got a tartan one with the butterick. They remind me of horseshoe butterick pockets. I think I'll put the link below anyway. I can't remember the name of the pattern. It's a lot to remember just off the top of my head. Anyway, got two other skirts. They're full gauze skirts, so I find making circle skirts you need a hell of a lot of fabric, and because they're cut on the bias, the weight of them, it's a nightmare to hem them. I always find they stretch and grow constantly. Where I find the full gauze skirt, I get the fullness at the bottom, slim line at the top, so it really is my favourite. So this one I've cut with a waistband that goes up, it's curved in the top. And then I put on, these were Wearing History home front and overall pockets, so they're the ones that I put on the top, and they've been sewn on. I think a pattern matched quite well because I can't quite see the seam when I'm looking in the camera monitor. This fabric is a beautiful wool, and if you come up close you can just see the white flecks in it, and it's red checks on black. And I got this from Andre, whose company is Till the Sun Goes Down, and she sells patterns as well. So she sells fabric as Till the Sun Goes Down and patterns as Now and Then Patterns. And I met her at the Knitting and Stitching show, bought some glorious fabrics from her, and she also had baskets of fabulous vintage fabrics. And this was one that I bought. And I mean, I've had it for a couple of years, and I so nearly sold it because I kept thinking, oh, I haven't got enough to make the jacket I thought I was going to make from it. And then one day, a few weeks ago, I thought, hold on a minute, why don't I make a lovely wool winter skirt to wear with my shiny patent shoes? I can put any colour of sort of knitwear with it, and this is going to be a fabulous skirt to wear. So I'm absolutely thrilled that I never sold this fabric, that I held onto it. Can you imagine? I wouldn't have had the joy of this skirt. Now, before I show you two other things that I've made, I'm going to show you something that's in my plans. I really want to make some of these pyjamas. I've used this pattern twice for my daughters, these lovely piped traditional pyjamas, and now I'm sleeping on my own and the house is really quite cold. It's a really old 1920s bungalow, and it is really chilly compared to our terraced house that's all squished up with all the warmth in it. So I just want some warm sort of brush cotton, you know, like flannelette, pale pink pyjamas with red piping is what I can picture, and I really want to make those. So I found the fabric, I've just got to buy it, so I'm going to get on with some of those, and they actually take quite a long time. They're a fiddly old thing to make. I don't think I'll make the pocket. I can't see, I need to put a hanky up there, but yeah, I'm going to get on with making some of those pyjamas. You know, you've got to wear pyjamas, then they might as well look gorgeous, and there's no point having satin ones because I will feel freezing in those. I want something cozy but that looks sassy and lovely. So that's that plan for the pyjamas. Now, both of these dresses here were last month's project for my patrons at Bobo Buns Sewing Club on Patreon, and I absolutely love designing my ideas for them there. And we were looking at a Vampire's Wife inspired dress. It was from the dress that I made to wear for my daughter's, my youngest daughter Millie's graduation, inspired by the Vampire's Wife Skyrocket dress. And last month I made another one in this beautiful needle cord as part of showing my patrons how to make it. My upper tier patrons got more you know, parts of it than everybody else. It was just like, you know, showing them all different bits of the process. They can make a classic dress. So this lovely red needle cord, and then it's got an A-line skirt with a lovely deep frill, and the red again is nicer than it's showing up here. It's more of a blue red, and I always feel absolutely fabulous in these. Not that you're seeing the whole dress. The other one that I'd cut out, and I was going to do something different to it, you know, at the neck, is this one in a gorgeous 1940s crepe. The fabric's absolutely lush. I've finally sewn in the facings to the sleeves, so they've got to be sewn up. And I've got to put the interfacing in to stabilise the fabric to put the zip in at the back. And I was saying to you about how we save fabrics, just reminded me on the skirt I just showed you as well. Because this is 40s crepe, it's amazing. I mean, I got 5 meters of it, and it's amazing it had survived as well as it had. But there was a little hole on it. Can you see where I had to patch? There was a hole in the fabric. So what I do is I iron on interfacing underneath, and try and see where the bit is, and then I do lots of little stitching over the top. I mean, if I'd had dark grey thread I would have used that, but it's like darning. You sort of sew with smaller stitches, like about 1.8, a box, and then you keep filling it in with lines across and then the other way. So that's how I saved that fabric. So I really want to get on with finishing this dress. I just ran out of time with all the moving process. So yeah, I want to get this one finished as well, because I think this will still work for the winter, but I know they're going to get worn all year round. I'll just show you on this wool skirt. I know there was a bit when I didn't find when I was cutting it out, and then I found a hole and I was like, oh my god, you know, there's a hole, and that's really, really annoying. Yeah, so with this one, as I cut the fabric out, I didn't notice there was a hole. It was only when I went to sew the pieces up, and it's just here on the back below the zip. So on this side, can you see where I've done the darning? I think it's quite well hidden. I'm really, really pleased with the effect on that. But if you see inside, so here you go, you can see all the stitching on the underside with on the iron-on, you know, woven interfacing that stabilises it. So rather than thinking, oh, I can't use these, you know, very elderly fabrics because there's a hole in them, yes, you can repair them. If there's enough fabric, then you can cut around those pieces, but if not, repair them. And that to me adds to the beauty and the charm of them. So on the subject of very elderly fabric and repairs, I want to show you this dress. I went to a fabulous sort of vintage fabric and clothing and all sorts sale recently, and it was hosted by the Costumes and Textiles Association, which is here in Norwich. I've been meaning to join them for years, and finally I have, and they've got some amazing things on. I mean, they have an amazing collection of clothes, you know, right across history that you can go and look at. They do so many different talks, and when I saw the programme of talks for next year, I was so excited. There's a whole day, I think, on Hollywood glamour with afternoon tea. There's another one looking at some Schiaparelli, Vionnet, Chanel. Oh, there's just Patrick Grant is coming to talk about sustainability in fashion. I was just like, I'm going to that one. Hopefully I can get tickets for them all. But I was super, super excited to see all of the things that I can go to, and with other people that are interested in just the same. So when I went to the Costume and Textiles fair, I met some really lovely, interesting people there. One lady who has actually got a collection of Bieber, which I'm hoping to go and see because she's got some original pieces. And this month on Patreon, the whole focus is on Bieber. So yeah, it's very much in my mind. You know, I'm creating some Bieber, or starting to, because I want to recreate so much of Barbara Hulaniki's designs. They're just amazing. But for now, we're back in the 1950s. I bought this dress for literally £5. I'm spinning it around. But isn't the fabric absolutely glorious? But it's seen better days. You see under here, it's ripped all under the underarms. It's all frayed around the collar. The buttonholes are stretched and torn. Yeah, and where was the really extraordinary patch? Just under the arm here, look, they've pieced in another bit of fabric. So it fits me really well, but I just need to give this dress a bit of tender loving care and try and bring it back to its original beauty. So I've been saving that for when I've got some time, but it's got this beautiful shawl collar on it, and I wonder if I could slip it over my cardigan just to kind of show you the shape of it. My ring was sticking in fabric there, so you can see how the collar comes down, then it will button up, and the sleeves got turn-ups on them over here. So it's a really, really beautiful dress. So I want to bring this back to life if I can. I'm going to do my best. The other piece that I bought was a 1940s nightdress, and it's, I don't know what the fabric is, it's quite sort of springy and stretchy, but in this peach colour. I don't normally like peach. This is so pretty. It's got lots of lace on it, and then this little gathered skirt, and then a little frill at the bottom. You have this little 1940s nightdress, again cheap as chips, but just wanted to save it, and I saw so many other beautiful, lovely things there, but no fabric to buy, sadly. So I think that's rather a good catch up of where I'm at, what my plans are. I haven't been knitting for weeks, so I've got 3 winter knits on the go, so I really want to get back to getting on with those. Then finally when they get finished I can share them with you too. But I've got some ideas and things I'm planning for our next chat, so it's all go here. So fingers crossed I'm back in the driving seat so we can continue our lovely chats. If you want to have a little tour of my new sewing room, then please shout, because I'd love to share with you. My haberdashery cupboard's got new curtains, so I'll have to show you those. And yeah, some other little bits that I have made but I've forgotten to bring in. So thank you so much for joining me today. As always, I love chatting with you and sharing what I'm up to, and I love hearing your feedback and your thoughts. So until next time, I shall wish you goodbye, and I shall see you again very, very soon. Bye bye for now.